All right, so this is the recording for the Sizewise coaching session. And today we're going to be talking about pesticides, fruits and veggies, and then also the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15, the new one, because it changes every year, or I believe every year. And yeah, that comes from the Environmental Working Group. So I'll be sharing my screen. I'll also send you this information as well. And actually, first off, since it's just us, Pamela, are you familiar with the Dirty Dozen Clean 15?
No, I'm not familiar with the dozen. I may be familiar, but not under that name.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Because is it about, like, you're talking strawberries and blueberries that really carry a lot of pesticides, particularly if it's not organic?
That's right. Yeah. It's just a nice clean slate of information that tells you, which fruits and veggies you should definitely buy organic, and which ones you don't need to worry about buying organic for the most part.
Right. Okay. Yeah. The tougher skin, thicker skin, like say avocado.
Yeah. Yep. And so I'll kind of get you that list, and we'll go over that. But first off, actually, I wanted to know, are you good with the nutrition app, or do you find, do you use that kind of like sometimes?
I use it sometimes, Okay. I just kind of improvise on what's there. I don't go to the letter per se, but yes.
That's fine. Okay. Got it. And do you use it on your phone mostly, or do you use it on the laptop?
My phone, or either my iPad.
Okay, because I'm not sure if you're aware of the way when you use it on your laptop. What I realized Elaine was asking last week, how to set or I guess not include or include certain foods that you don't like into your meal plan. You can only do it on your laptop, on a computer. So I was going to kind of just show you that briefly if you're interested. If not, that's cool. But you can set like your carb content to a low carb meal plan, and you can say, I don't want bananas in my meal plan. I don't want, A, B, C, D in my meal plan. You click on search, and then it comes up with all thousands of meal plans that fit that profile.
Okay. And on the laptop, I believe I can track that.
Yeah. Yes. So would it help to go through it real quick, or do you feel you could probably find
with it? Yeah. I think I'll with it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. All right. So then I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that we can see the first handout that I want to discuss. And this is the fruits and veggies and pesticides, and like the why behind the what. So we know that it's all, in the news a lot, and we hear about, hey, stay away from pesticides. But I just wanted to just get down into the why behind it. Some of these I didn't know, and others I just said, since everyone's just talking about don't eat pesticides. When the why is kind of in your head, it just gives you even more of a reason to pay attention. So just as we look at it, and I'll send this over to you, it's common knowledge that the healthy diet requires a lot of fresh fruit and vegetables, but these seemingly healthy choices may instead be full of pesticides. And the United States uses 1.2 billion pounds of pesticides a year, but only a mere 0.01% actually reach the intended target, which is the bugs, right? That's the whole point of the pesticides, is to, hinder the bugs from getting on it, but 0.01% gets to the bugs. So the rest of it ends up contaminating our food, air, and our water. Wow. And so it says, read on to find out, so this can be scary, what else you're consuming when biting into an apple. So, I know I'm gonna move this over here. All right, so then we have health risks associated with pesticides. Because they end up virtually everywhere instead of staying where they're supposed to. Their existence in the environment has been linked to the following health problems. So skin, eye, and lung irritation, hormone disruption, that to me is a very big one. Brain, because that hormones affect, they're the control center for everything. Brain and nervous system, cancer, blood disorders, nerve disorders. Basically, once it gets into your tissues, it kind of goes to any one of these angles, sometimes depending on what runs in your family genetically. And it just like increases the magnifying glass on the potential to have a to have a disorder in one of these organs or one of these areas, nerve, birth defects, and reproduction effects. So I believe that you know, and we have, the crazy thing is we have tons of wonderful technology in our healthcare system, but sometimes, you know, as an example, I just want us to think outside of the box and know that with our medicine and our technology and all the, you know, prescriptions and everything, there's some great stuff, hopefully to be used to bridge the gap when we experience something. But that first little circle, skin, eye, and lung irritation, right? So if we go and talk to our doctors about, we have an eye irritation or a skin irritation, I think
right.
that in addition to the doctors telling us, well, I have a prescription, you know, that can help that, we also need to consider, okay, well, what is the reason that I might be having it, right? So let's not, you know, make sure we unturn every stone and every pebble, so that we're not just putting the Band-Aid on the issue, but we're like, okay, maybe I need to know that when you know, it's not the only thing, it's just one thing, although be it, it's, I feel a big thing. What about the chemicals and these pesticides that I keep eating? Or, you know, this also goes as far as some of the skincare, personal care products we put in our bodies. You know, you don't want to just take the medication and continue bringing in the pesticides or bringing in the toxins and chemicals. So kind of we want to look at this from a double prong approach. You know, medications can be great to help bridge the gap, of course, but let's see where we might not be paying attention. And again, skin, eye, lung irritation, sometimes with hormone disruption, right? We might just be put on, especially us women, you know, when we go into menopause, we might just, our hormones may be way further out of whack than what they otherwise should be, because they're going to start changing. We know that. But it seems like these days it's more magnified. And so this lesson is just designed to share with you other things to think about, to start removing the culprits that could be magnifying the issue, so that maybe we don't need as much medication or not for as long. So just kind of getting you thinking a different way. So who is most at risk? That's right there in the middle. Those who regularly eat food grown with pesticides are at the highest risk of developing health problems, as well as farmers, those who live downwind or downstream of the sprayed croplands, infants, young children, and that's just because, you know, all these toxins and pesticides, they just get absorbed so quickly into their tissues that are still in development. On the right side, according to a 1998 study by the National Resource Defense Council, children living in areas with heavy pesticides use had strikingly impaired hand-eye coordination, decreased physical stamina, short-term memory impairment, and trouble drawing. So, you know, I know it gets really difficult to try to put a finger on, hey, you know, let's just say it as an example, if we say, oh, my child is having trouble drawing or short-term memory, it's easy to say, oh, well, let's, you know, put them on some medication. But I just want you to look at the grand scheme of things, peel off what is not needed and what's not necessary. And courses like this and lessons like this is going to help inform you and empower you to at least just look, you know, whether you believe it or not, you know, at least just be aware and look and question, you know, even what I'm saying. And if there's even just a question behind it, like, you know, maybe the research is, you know, shifty here and there, there's still that possibility, you know, still a possibility that these things are going to create issues, especially over long-term use. So the naked truth is that, according to a study conducted by the Environmental Working Group, and if you haven't gone to the EWG.org, I highly recommend that you do, because it's got some great information about it's a very, I say, responsible site that helps educate and it helps educate the public about things that are going on with regards to this topic. But anyway, according to the EWG, at least one pesticide remains on 63% of commonly purchased produce, even after it was properly washed. Okay, so that might beg the question of what do you do to wash your produce? So there's a lot of things on the market that are out there. Some are pretty decent, but you can make your own too. Usually vinegar, water. You can do a soak. Those things actually do a lot better than just rinsing your produce, even organic produce underwater. So anyway, that is interesting. And then one other little, I guess I've got a lot of pages on here. We'll go through this pretty quickly, and then I'll show you the Dirty Dozen Clean 15. This is in general. Let's move this over here. Okay, so fruit and veggies treated with the most pesticides, starting at the top left. So peppers, and then it just goes on over cucumbers, greens, peaches, apples, and so on and so forth. Plums, celery, cilantro, potatoes, grapes. Oops. Getting in the way. Grapes, back up here. Oh, hold on, let's see. Oh yeah, we had some different highest numbers of pesticides still present on a single sample. Apples shows up quite a lot in terms of like that. I would say definitely buy organic. And then as we go down, see this one, bottom one, the good news. Okay, so here are some vegetables and fruits that have the least amount of pesticides. So asparagus, avocado, cabbage, corn, eggplant, mushrooms, onions, potatoes, so on and so forth. So I'm going to give you a list called the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 that pretty much puts it all together. The 12 produce items that you definitely want to buy organic, similar to what you see in here. And then the 15, Clean 15, those are produce items that, it's just going to have less, it's going to have some, but it'll have less pesticides sprayed on them. And as Pamela mentioned, yeah, the general concept is the Clean 15 items that you don't necessarily need to buy organic. Those mostly have a skin around it or a tough covering where the pesticides would be. So when you take it off, at least you're removing that from the produce item and you're not consuming that. Other than that, if it's like a mushroom or let's see, I haven't seen asparagus grow, but in that case, if it doesn't have a covering or a husk or anything like that, then it just happens to be a produce item that they just don't tend to use pesticides. They don't need to. I guess with mushrooms, it's a fungus anyway. Maybe bugs don't get on them as much, but that is, that's one little exception. Okay, and then the last bit of information on tips to help you kind of live out this concept. Living organic, so eating organic produce is the best way to eliminate the harmful effects of pesticides on your health. Food that is grown without chemicals is the healthiest diet you can feed your body, and doing so nourishes your health and mind. Other things is shop locally. So organic means the crops are raised natural. Balanced soil, that means these are farmers that use crop rotation to improve fertility of the soil instead of the chemicals. And sustainable farming is a word for, they use manure for productivity as an organic fertilizer. All right, so that's actually, even though it has the crossbones, that sustainable farming is using back, from nature, putting back in. So that is more sustainable. And the great thing is, down at the bottom, next time a farmer's market hits your neighborhood, check out their supply to find healthier choices for you and your family. And I want to say, usually it's May that the Sand Hill Farmers Market starts up, and you'll find me there. I think it's every Tuesday up until October, November, I believe. So absolutely use your farmer's market. One very important note is that not all farmers in the area, especially small farmers, have the money to get to be certified organic. And that's kind of sad, but it's by design, unfortunately. But even if they're not certified organic, you can talk to the farmer and ask them, about their farming practices, or just, just to reassure yourself that at least they're not, being influenced by big so I guess seed companies that use genetically modified seeds or, are influenced by different types of pesticides and chemicals. So I will purchase a lot of produce from the farmer's market and from a farmer that is not certified organic, but I can tell the produce tastes much better. They're based, I think, out of Bamberg or somewhere out in that area, out in the country. And, so I just wanted to let you know that in that case at the farmer's market, better to buy from a farmer that's local to you that may not be certified organic versus, a large grocery store that doesn't say organic. And you'll save money as well. I believe for sure you'll save money by shopping at the farmer's markets. Okay, so I will be sending this out to you in the resource email. And then the next thing, let's see if I can go
That's
to
good information.
Yeah, oh good, yeah, thank you. Yeah, it really is. And so here comes from Environmental Working Group. Can you still see my screen? You see that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Shopper's Guide to Pesticides and Produce. I'll send this out to you as well. It's just kind of a summary. But like I said, I was doing grocery store tours back probably starting in 2012, 2013. I've seen a lot change from 2012 to today in the terms of like even ingredients in almond milk, all the different marketing and labeling. They really do a good job to try to confuse us. And they're just as quick to change the marketing game before our eyes. When we get comfortable and think we know that we're picking the right brands and everything, they switch it up based on what the chatter is. So now I'm diverting a little bit, but a lot of companies will put on the front of their labels, non-GMO. They'll put no gluten. That's kind of just a funny fad. They'll put no gluten on bacon or something. Yeah, and then they'll put a lot of companies will say no artificial preservatives, no artificial flavors, and non-GMO. And then when you look at the ingredients, it's still not something that you really want to put into your body. So don't believe the hype when you just see that first bit of marketing on the front of a food product. Always look at the back, and this is a big concept behind my grocery store tour that I do. But you want to look at the ingredients. Don't get caught by the marketing. And then sometimes some of the names that we think are healthy almost all the way, let's say as an example, Kashi, that's a type of, they have cereal and cereal bars. Now, some may be okay and great in terms of ingredients, but other Kashi items, they may put in something a little different. So, just don't believe, like on a brand, it's cool if you notice, hey, Cascadian Farms seems to have some great ingredients, but it might not be for every single product. So just keep your eyes open to that. And just taking it one step further on those brands, this gets more into some politics, but when you think of Burt's Bees and Cascadian Farms and Kashi, and then there's a whole bunch of others, but a lot of times they are owned by the Pepsis and the Nestle's and the Mercks and it is crazy. I have a blowout chart of all the healthier brands of food, like healthy foods. And lo and behold, it's like Coca-Cola or something like that, trying to get in the game. So some people, some health professionals and some clients choose to not put their dollars over to even that far when they know who's supporting all the way up to the top, where these are trillions of dollars trying to get in the game. And then others, like me, I'm aware, but I just try to do my best at preparing as much food as I possibly can and just being conscious about it most of the time. Don't drive yourself crazy, trying to be perfect, but the awareness is really, really important. You'd be surprised at just how much goes on behind the labeling industry. So anyway, I diverted. So this is the Dirty Dozen Clean 15. So we already pretty much said that. So for 2018, this has changed since I started doing grocery store tours in 2012. On the left, we've got in order, I believe this is in order of most pesticides used back in 2018 and moving forward. So strawberries are number one. Then you go to spinach, and you see nectarines, apples. Apples are almost always going to be on the list no matter what. Grapes, peaches, cherries. I believe almost all those, yeah, you're going to most likely bite directly into, maybe, probably not the potatoes, but potatoes in general are just going to be heavily sprayed with a lot of pesticides. And then the clean 15. So over there, avocados, yeah, number one. I don't think I almost ever buy organic avocados. And, the question does pop up of, even if you buy, let's say, the clean 15, a non-organic avocado, what about the soil that it was grown, in? And it is true. You can't control what soil it was grown in, and you also, I feel like if you don't buy organic on the clean 15, the only other thing that you may have compromise is flavor and taste. Right, so on the right, I'm buying conventional, which is the opposite of organic. So a conventional onion may not taste as good as an organic onion. Okay, so the first thing we're talking about is avoiding pesticides and chemicals and stuff. But then if you want, kind of like more flavor, some people notice the difference, even if they don't have to buy an organic avocado, they might think, an organic one might taste better. So just, you could test that out. So yeah, that is pretty much, those are the main points that I wanted to go over. I'm also going to stop the share and show you guys one other thing. And I see Karen, hi, I saw you jump on a little bit ago. Let's see if I can share one other thing. And this is, let's see if I can get over to my screen. All right, so we're going to try to I just want to show you the tower garden, which is a way to grow your own fruits and vegetables in a small area of a space. Let's see if this one will pop up. Yeah, so this is one. Oops, can you guys see this tower garden, Pamela?
I see the link. You clicked on the email, but nothing, nothing.
Nothing popped up. Okay, let's see if I can try it again. Okay.
I see it now.
Got it. Yeah. So that is, this is the tower garden. And if you wanted to take it a step further, this is a really cool system. It's by the makers of Juice Plus. And I'm a distributor of, because I like the mission that they're on, and they're very responsible in terms of the types of products that we put out. So the Tower Garden, you may have seen it already or heard of it, but I just wanted to share it since we're talking about being able to have control over the ingredients of your produce. So if you like gardening, I think gardening is great too, but this is just another option, just another resource, that's all. My mom and dad just bought one, and it allows you to grow over 20 different, up to 20 different fruits and vegetables in those little holes that you see. And it's considered aeroponic. So it's a blend between hydroponic and it requires air for growth and sunlight. But it waters itself down at the bottom. There's a reservoir of about a 20 to 30 gallon tank of that holds water. And you put the liquid nutrients in the water. So it's the same nutrients that come from the soil, but it's in a liquid form. And basically a pump spits up the liquid nutrients up through the top of the tower, and then it sprinkles down onto the root system of the tower garden. And so in mine, I've grown, tomatoes, cucumbers, green beans. And when the worms and different critters get on it, I can control what pesticide, I want to put on it. I can use an organic one. Some people have used, just their own concoction that can keep away certain types of worms or, just bugs that are naturally going to get on produce anyway. But anyway, just wanted to share that with you. This system is, and then you also can you buy your own seeds. And so I get organic seeds, or I'll get little seedlings that are maybe 2 inches high and from a farmer, and they'll mail those to me, and they just pop them in there. And then if I have kale or, you know, lettuce or, you know, chard, I'll just chop it off, and then it just continues to grow, and I'll put it in my smoothie. And it's just a way to feel connected as well. And it's relaxing. It's definitely a lot less work than regular gardening, but regular gardening also has its benefits as well, for relaxation and being connected with the soil, and all that. But I just wanted to share the tower garden with you. If you're interested, let me know.
I've not heard of that.
Yeah, oh, right, yeah. And it was developed in Epcot. So down in Epcot Center, they have all of the, and also at one of the airports down there, all of their produce comes from the Tower Garden. And then over at Good Life Cafe here in Columbia, the owner there has purchased a Tower Garden. So she grows her herbs and, you know, because that's a vegan cafe right there on Main Street. And so you can see it in the window if you ever pass by there. But yeah, it's really cool. Just a more sustainable way of creating or growing your own food. And like I said, it waters itself. You don't even, it wastes like so much less water, and it's pretty easy. But yeah, Tower Garden. And so it is about, I think now it runs about $510. And what I did, I paid like $45 a month for about a year, and it was mine. And I'm actually getting ready to start mine. I'm going to go pull it out. I'm a little late, but pull it out and start growing some stuff so that I can have a yield in a month or two.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I'll send a little, like the little brochure, so you can read a little bit more about it. But it's a great gift, you know, if you ever want to consider it. But since Dr. Daniels is also a Juice Plus, like he has the Juice Plus products, he could also sell one as well. But I just wanted to share it. Yep, Tower Garden. All right, so any questions?
I do have a question. I noticed that blueberries were not on the Dirty Dozen per se.
Right, got it. You know, blueberries, they are not let's go back to the Dirty Dozen. Okay, let's see. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Right, yeah, so yeah, only strawberries. So blueberries, they're not a produce item that actually they put a lot of pesticides on. However, I buy organic, and I think it's just the my feeling of the concept of foods that you bite directly into. So you know, those are going to be more. I just feel maybe it's just a preference, but according to farming, you know, techniques, it would be on here if it was a produce item that they sprayed a lot of pesticides on.
Okay, the organic tastes better to me.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. Sorry. Okay, so cool. Good question. All right, so any other questions?
No, I think that's it. I look forward to getting the info that you showed us, you know, as well as the Tower Garden. I'm curious. That's a pretty neat concept.
Yeah, I definitely will send it out. And if you have any other questions, please definitely let me know. And you know, I'll try to, maybe I'll do a post where I show you guys my Tower Garden and how it progresses through the summer.
That would be good.
Yeah, I will. All right, well, I guess it's time. My dog's telling me it's time to go, but it's 7:04. So I thank you guys for being on, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. And if there's any topics that you want me to go over, let me know. Otherwise, I've got plenty. Okay. All right, you guys have a wonderful evening.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.